wrong. I feel it circling like vultures around my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out to pray. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. I was deaf to the ringing bells, wanting me to break, deafened by the sirens' soothing lies. I can't leave, I am in too deep, been sinking for a while, prisoner to the same thing I despise, devoted to a fake. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out your pray. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out to pray. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face? But even living in disguise, where you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. Boku no mirai wa dare ni mo wakaru nai.
Good morning, coffee beans. I hope you've had a lovely night of rest. I hope you're in here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You've got your morning libation, be it a coffee or maybe you're into energy drinks or whatever. But I do hope that you have got it all ready to go. I meant to have this pulled up. I don't know why I didn't have this pulled up. Jeez. Just real quick, just as kind of like a public, I guess you'd call it service announcement. I don't know if you guys follow this kind of stuff or not, but I just want to make you aware of something before we. This is the pre-show show, okay? So yesterday it was reported that over $2.9 billion, or not billion dollars, 2.9 billion people, primarily U.S. citizens, data was had been stolen. They got people's social security numbers. They've got personal information. is a so. What does that mean? It means if your data has been compromised, if they have your SSN, they have your name, they have your address, they have all this, they can open up lines of credit through credit cards, all this type of stuff, right? Um, you might want to take. I would recommend that you take some sort of preventative steps to ensure that your identity is not used to open up credit cards or lines of credits or things like that. There's lots of different. I'm not going to sit here and tell you use, um, this monitoring site or that monitoring site or whatever. Um, there's plenty of research out there. There's different price points. There's this, that, and the other. But I would strongly encourage you, and it's not cheap, guys. It's not cheap. I'm gonna just tell you it. Whether you go the month to month or you bite the bullet and get like a full year's worth and get a little bit better rate as far as the monthly cost by doing a year at it. But I would strongly encourage you guys to do something to ensure that your identity is not used to open up lines of credit, because this stuff will ruin you financially. I mean, it's things aren't the greatest right now in the U.S. with the inflation and this, that, whatever else. And I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to get all that. But if you get if your identity gets compromised, they out here setting up credit cards and this, that, and the other. Because I know most of my average viewer base is like 20 to 30, mid 30s age demographic. Okay. You guys have got a long life ahead of you. You've got a lot of, just choices. Bottom line is find it somewhere, find the resources, the money somewhere. And 100% guys, take some action to protect yourselves. No joke. I'm not trying to over, just doom and gloom you first thing, right out of the bat. I mean, we even really had time to have coffee yet this morning, but I seen that yesterday. I read into it, and I spoke with some experts who are into cybersecurity and stuff, and I talked with them, and every one of them said, "Yeah, this is no joke. This is not ha funny." And every one of them recommended that that a person go out and have, they didn't, they weren't out here saying use LifeLock or use Imperion or this, that, whatever else. They just said, make sure, that you encourage people to whatever company they wish to go with, to go out there and get some protection going to protect your identities. And so anyway, in good conscience, I felt like I needed to share that with you guys. I know it's a heavy thing right off the bat, man. Like I said, we haven't had enough time to get a few drinks of coffee in us yet, but dang it. It's a scary place out there sometimes. And, hang these people for like letting their pants down to get us exposed. And it's just, anyway, one of the things that you guys can do is, in the U.S. there's like three major credit bureaus, right? That are going to like to check for loans. If you're going to establish credit cards and things of that stuff, you can actually go in there and lock those down to where no new credit cards can be gotten. No loans can be procured, nothing until you go in there and unlock them, right? So that's some things that you can do to protect yourself. But anyway, just do a little research. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm into IT and stuff like that, but this is a world that of IT that is so fast changing and moving that, it's just not the world that I exist in. And like I said, I did talk to some cybersecurity experts, and they said, yeah, the best thing for just layman's people like you and me is just to get a monitoring service and get that going, get that rolling. So anyway, guys, I know I hate to bust that on you right off the bat, but like I said, in good conscience, I just felt like I really, really, truly did need to do that. So, and here's the thing, guys, if you don't live in the States, right? Because I know I have viewers watch from UK. I know we have people, from Canada, so on and so forth that watch. You guys aren't safe either. You're just not, it's just a matter of time, essentially, is what it boils down to. Anyway, so let's get into the story that we're going to get into today is there's a lot of misinformation that has been put out and so forth. So we're going to try to go through this and try to be as accurate as we possibly can on this. Some of it is just we're going to goof and gaff and laugh and whatever. But anyway, let's just get into this thing. So you can't just post a random image with coffee and expect people to understand it. And then there's me. Do you guys understand this? Do you understand this meme? Okay, good. Because you're coffee beans, and you should be able to understand this meme. Shouldn't be no problem there, right? Anyway, so let's get into this. So this right here is what was her name? Rachael Gunn. She's better known by her performance name of Raygun. She is from the lovely continent of Australia. She competed in the 2024 Summer Games in Paris, France, in the breakdancing. Now, first of all, I'm a little bit out of my depth here with this, because as a child of the 80s, as someone who grew up in the 80s, in the 70s, break dancing to me was, you had these young people. I was never one of them. I was not athletic enough, and I had zero rhythm, right? But these young people, all walks of life, would be dragging around these big cardboard boxes that were flattened out, and they would have various sizes of a boom box. Sometimes they were like these big, huge boom boxes that were as big as themselves, and sometimes they were a little bit more compact and easy to carry. Irregardless, they would set these up on a sidewalk, and they would play their different songs, in typically hip hop type songs, and they would dance, and they called it breakdancing, and they did all these really athletic, crazy moves and stuff, and I was always impressed at the athleticism and style that these young people, because I was young at the time too, but these that they possessed, and they kind of they had their own like style as far as clothing and apparel and things of that nature. And I thought, honestly, here's my ignorance in this. I thought we left that like in the 80s. I thought that was kind of like, we had the hair bands, we had the one-hit wonders, we had the DeLoreans, we had excessive amounts of the devil's dandruff. Just all that stuff was just kind of left in the 80s. We go back and we pull up for little nostalgia reasons. We'll pull up a little Cinderella, or we'll pull up a little Crew, or we'll pull up a little Poison, or some of the other hair bands that existed back then. Def Leppard and so forth. And we would, on the YouTube, right? Us children of the 80s that grew up in our teens and 80s, we go back, and I thought thought the breakdancing was back there, because I didn't really think it was a thing anymore. I didn't see it. I don't ever see it. It's not like it's in the news. It's not like it's, a big, but back then it was all the crave. It was, I mean, you'd see it on news stations, channel, and then lo and behold, my Twitter timeline gets blasted with this woman, this middle-aged, I don't know, what was she, like 30-something years old, I think. What is it saying here? 36 years old. So this, not middle-aged, but she's 36 years old. So, she's not a spring chicken exactly. She's 36, which is not to say it's not old like me old, but I mean, it's, break dancers were like in their teens, back in the 80s, you were teens, maybe into the 20s a little bit, right? But what it wasn't was 36-year-old women that, now listen, I'm not going to sit here and crap on her too hard, because she made it to the Olympic stage. She competed, right? So she accomplishments there. She put herself out there, and that's never easy to put yourself out there. Because when you do, you open yourself up to criticisms and mock. And this woman has caught it, brother. She has caught it from every flipping angle. And by the way, while this through my right here, I was supposed to have a person joining me this morning. They were supposed to be here because they told me, let me just pull up the DMs last night. What did they tell me? So they DM'd me after I posted my link to my thing this morning, right? The show. They sent me a DM, and they said, Peepaw. They said the Australians are saying that this was a troll, by the way, and the dumb people overseas just don't get Australian humor. And I said, are you referring to the Raygun breakdancing phenom? And they said, yes. And I said, well, you're more than welcome to join me. And they said, just giving you the streets, which I'm not for sure. And for show, I'll be there. That's what they said. For show, I will be there. And guess what? They're not here. They're not here. Does anybody want to guess who it was that was supposed to be here that is not here? That's right. Seth. So she gets into my DMs last night, and she's telling me how all this was a big troll from Australia. My favorite. Exactly, Purple. My favorite has left me high and dry, because evidently she knew all the intel on this, and then she just doesn't show up. She's a no-show Jones. But that's okay. But anyway, so Seth's assertion is that this was all a troll by Australia. Well, I don't know so much if this was a troll, because I know is they had a competition in Australia, right? There were some allegations. Now, it could have been just from people who were not selected that competed in Australia, that kind of bitter, sour grapes, that type of thing, right? Anyway, they it could have just been that, a little bit of trash talk, right? As one does if you're not selected for whatever, right? I didn't want to go to the birthday party anyway. No, poopy head. But anyway, said Australian officials have defended their decision to send Raygun to the Paris Olympics after the breakdancer failed to score a single point during the competition. Now, guys, what you got? They had 3 heats, right? And she went up against, I think it was Paris, and I think it was U.S., and I can't remember what the third country she competed against. But anyway, in all 3 of these events, the score was 18-0, with Raygun getting 0 points in all 3. She did a unique routine, which included hopping like a kangaroo and then withering around the floor like a snake. Anyway, the article goes, breaking is all about originality and bringing something new to the table and representing your country or region. Judge Martin Gillian, M. Gilby, M. Gilbilty, I guess, said in a press conference. This is exactly what Raygun was doing. She got inspired by our surroundings, which in this case, for example, was a kangaroo. On her performance, Gunn said, all my moves are original. Creativity is really important to me. I go out there and show my artistry. Sometimes it speaks to the judges. Sometimes it doesn't. I do my thing, and it represents art. That is what it is about. Australian sporting body Aus Breaking has now explained the process that led Raygun going to the Olympics. The selection process for Australia's breaking team headed to Paris was conducted by over 2 days and open to all interested participants in the Oceanic region, the statement read. Adhering to World Dance Sports Federation's regulations, which align with the International Olympic Committee IOC standards, the process aimed to ensure a fair and transparent outcome. A panel of 9 international judges, adjudicators, a head judge and a chairperson who oversaw the competition using the same judging system at the Paris Games and trained to uphold the high standards of impartiality. Anyway, were some allegations that her husband was part of this and kind of helped pushed her through. That was some of the stories that was rolling around out there on the interwebs. Turns out that was not true. So Auburn Preach did a video on this. I wanted to watch just a little bit. They have kind of a unique perspective on this because they both do dancing and they kind of come from that world. And so they have a little bit more of an insight than what I have. So anyway, I just want to kind of watch a little bit of that. I would encourage, we're not going to watch all of it. I mean, I that's not, anyway.
Today, Raygun and the breakdancing controversy. If you guys weren't aware, breakdancing was introduced at this year's 2024 Olympics, and it's created quite a lot of controversy as being one of the events for the closing ceremonies and one of the ones that was going to close out the whole of the Olympics. Now, we are both dancers. I've been street dance for a long time. Preach even longer than me. Preach has been hosting, battling, performing,
DJing.
There you go. I've been doing a lot of similar stuff. I was following a lot of the qualifiers for the Olympics, so I was curious to see how this was going to go. Why don't we just start with the beginning? Raygun, okay? She went viral because, let's just be straightforward with it, her shit was trash, okay? By Olympic standards, it was trash. I think that's a very fair statement. Everyone would agree.
So you see, Abba and Preach, they put on no punches here. They called her stuff trash. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to say that because I'm not a dancer. I don't have the skill set to, but these two guys, you know, they say they've been doing this stuff for years. They say she's trash. So there you go. Trash.
No matter how much you want to defend her, how much you may not deserve all the flack she's getting, by Olympic standards, what she did was trash.
By the dancing standard, still trash. For the contemporary side of things, it was exquisite. Because she was thinking outside the box. But the thing is, whenever you learn to dance or you have any kind of things like that, that there's rules. You have to learn the rules first before you break them. She just broke them.
Yeah.
There was nothing learned within those rules. It's just like whenever you're doing accounting. You have to learn the rules in order to be able to save some money. If you don't learn them rules and you save some money, you're going to do something illegal.
You're going to jail.
You're
That's
going
what he's
to
trying to
jail.
say.
You're going to jail.
That's not creative accounting. That's illegal accounting.
It's illegal. There's a lot of people that was talking about, oh, there's a lot of bullying. I don't believe that what we're doing is bullying. It's because in the essence of dancing itself and of that dance itself, of hip.
So here's a question, guys. So they bring up a thing here. They don't say that what they're doing is bullying, right? They say that this criticism, the critiquing, especially if they come, so especially if people are coming from the dance industry, right? If they are dancers, be it interpretive dancers, be it modern dance, ballroom dance, whatever. What if they have a dancing background, whatever, and they're critiquing and they're saying, "Hey, this was not good." Like these, like Alban Preacher says, it's trash by Olympic standards. It's trash by modern dance. It's trash. But Preach goes on to say by interpretive dancing is what it was exquisite. But they go on to clarify, say, each thing has its rules, right? Each type of dance has its guidelines. It has its, if you're doing ballroom dance, well, then you got to know how to do the foxtrot. You have to do, and the waltz and things of that nature, right? There's certain things that you have to be able to do, right? And breakdancing or interpretive, there's no difference. And that's what these two gentlemen are saying, and I think they're spot on. Now, the question and the thing of it is like in today, right? Anytime anyone takes exception to something and they start critiquing, right? Like commentary, that's what we do. Someone does something, they put a video out, they make a statement, they take a stance, they say this is what we're doing, or this is a thing, or what have you, and all of a sudden it's bullying, it's you're being mean, it's you're not allowing me to exist, right? So I have a question here. So I'm going to put a little thing, a poll out here, so you guys can vote on this, and kind of, because I'm really kind of interested. When you see people like Alban Preach here, or even some of the other people out there that are coming from this industry, as far as they compete, and they one of the judges, I was reading, one of the articles I read, said that they had no doubt that Raygun, right, that she was very good for the people that she competed against in Australia. They said I have no doubt in my mind that she, that this was not any type of bias or anything like that. That was the best that she competed against, and did the best against the people that she competed against in Australia to be selected to come to Paris to compete in the Olympics. But her caliber of dancing and her caliber of abilities, when measured up against these other athletes that were competing in the breakdancing competition, it fell short, right? And so I think the judge was being as kind as they possibly could be. But I think it's like I said, I don't think that a person can just, you're not excluded from criticism, critiques, right? And that's one of the things, like, I know, and even myself included in this, there's been times when I have not handled critique and criticism very well, right? Sometimes it can become a little overwhelming, but that doesn't mean that it's not warranted. We just have to either we have to come to a place to where we can deal with it and we can accept it, or we can't. And if we can't, then we probably need to remove ourselves from that place. So anyway, there was one other little segment here. Let's see what was there. Yeah, they have a section here where they talk. I can. Oh, come on. Ads. I love the Google ads, the YouTube ads, right?
To me, that's
who organized the qualifier.
The one who organized a qualifier, I believe, was she was part of a organization. Her and her husband and some other people.
Who's her and her husband?
Raygun and her husband.
Okay, so here's the thing. This section here that they talk about, this is kind of where this was the impression that I was under as well. right? That this was a deal where there was some biases involved, right? Where there was uh, some people, even so far as like some shenanigans, right, that was going on. There were some videos going around that were implicating and saying that Raygun and her husband uh, was like in control or part of this organization that was overseeing the selection process and all that, and that basically she got a pass, if you will, because of her husband being on the committee and da 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 da. Da. Well, there's reports coming out now saying no, that's not the case at all. So I don't know honestly if because this thing is still kind of developing a little bit. So I don't know what. So I think Auburn Preach may be a little bit behind, um, because see, when did this video come out? When was this? Yeah, a day ago. So I think some of this stuff is now recently just coming out. So they may have to maybe do a little bit of a correction on that. I'm not for sure. Um, anyway, but let's listen to a little bit more of what they say here.
So she was part of the organization that.
One of them, a few of them, yeah.
I don't know. That sounds shady as fuck. But yeah, carry on.
Wait, why is that shady?
You're part of the organization that's gonna qualify you. Like, you're part of the organization. It's like hosting a battle and entering the battle. To me, that's always been a no. It's weird. I'm not gonna say that something's gonna happen with the judges or whatever or not. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, and like I say, there's been some reports coming out now saying that these allegations or these assertions are not true, and that she or her husband were not part of that. I don't. I'm sure as time goes on, more details will come out about that. But Preach is right. If you're hosting some sort of competition, right? Um, you cannot have a family member be a part of the competition and you set in judgment, because you just can't do that, right? Because even if you recuse yourself, or even if you vote for somebody else and you don't vote for the family member, there's still going to be these rumor mills and inklings of, oh well, that they backroom deals to get their person, their family member to win. So it's like you can't do it. And you sure can't compete yourself, right? That's you talk about a rigged election, man. You just can't do that crap, right? Anyway, that's pretty much it on that.
Person that
Stop, quit pushing buttons. Just quit pushing buttons. I don't know. Here's the thing too. In recent times they've talked about like bringing in, what do you call them? Esports, right? And having teams compete in different types of games, be it something like Counter-Strike, or maybe League of Legends, or some other game like that are squad-based games, and having these esports competitions. And there's been a lot of pushback. Oh, they're not athletes. They're not this. They're not that. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that breakdancing? Let's see what does the poll say here. So we're going 100% no bullying. They said this is not bullying. I agree. It's not bullying. It's just you put yourself out there, and you're going to have people that's going to critique it. Period. Point. That's just the way it is. So here's my next question to you guys. Do you feel like breakdancing is an appropriate competitive sport that should be allowed in the Olympics, right? So let's just do a little poll on that real quick, because I'm kind of curious. Should breakdancing be an sport. You guys can vote on that. I'll be interested what you guys think about that because I'm kind of I'm just a little bit I don't know. I think it's another one of those. I understand that the Olympics have to constantly be adding. They add things, right, to keep it fresh and keep people watching it and so forth. Uh, and I think there's a lot of things that they maybe possibly could have included, but it just was. I'll be quite honest with you. It was kind of a shock to me because, like I said, for the beginning of we talk about this segment here, I thought breakdancing was something that was left back in the '80s. I didn't even know it was something that was even still being done and was going on. I really didn't. I was just like, what? When I heard there was breakdancing at the Olympics, I don't know what you guys. I don't know if it was something that was. I don't know. Let's see what the polls looking to hit. Wow, 100% so far says no, that it shouldn't be an Olympic sport. That's interesting. I would have figured that there had been maybe one or two votes. We've got so far 3 out of the 9 people we got watching or whatever. That's anyway. I don't know. So anyway, we'll let that one soak a little bit more, then we'll see what happens. This next story. Are you a subscriber to Disney Plus? I am. I subscribe to Disney Plus. And I like to go and watch occasionally some of the old Disney movies. Some of the old MCU movies and stuff, I like to go back and watch them. Not so much some of the more recent stuff. It hasn't really just kind of been my thing, but irrespective, they do have some things on there that we, the wife and I do enjoy watching every now. But the reason why I bring it up is there's been a really interesting thing occur. So this came across my Twitter feed, and I think Purple sent it in as a possible topic as well. But anyway, so in October of 2023, Dr. Kanokporn Tang Son, I know I butchered that name, but anyway, this lady here, she's 42 years old, tragically passed away following a severe allergic reaction to nuts after dining at Raglan Road Irish Pub and Restaurant located in Disney Springs. Her partner, Jeffrey Piccolo, initiated a wrongful death lawsuit against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts in Florida. The lawsuit alleges that Disney negligently, particularly in the training of their staff regarding the handling of food allergies. Disney attempted to have the lawsuit dismissed, claiming that Piccolo had agreed to resolve all disputes through arbitration when he signed up for a free trial of Disney Plus in 2019. Piccolo is seeking damages of over $50,000 from Disney, covering mental anguish, funeral costs, medical expenses, and a loss of income. So Jeffrey signed up for a free trial for Disney Plus in 2019. And then 4 years later, him and his significant other go to this restaurant that's part of Disney, Raglan Road. And they conveyed to the wait staff that the young lady here had some allergies for dairy. It was dairy and nuts. There's another article we're going to get into in a minute. dairy and nuts, and they did not properly handle the food, and the food had both dairy and nuts in it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, May 31st, motion filed in the Orange County, Florida Circuit Court. Disney argued that the Disney Plus subscriber agreement that Piccolo signed years earlier on his PlayStation called for any dispute, with the exception of small claims, to be resolved by individual binding arbitration. The company added that Piccolo agreed to similar language when he used the My Disney Experience app to buy tickets to visit the Epcot theme park in September last year, a month before the ill-fated trip. Disney has argued that both agreements require Piccolo to consent to the arbitration language before purchasing the court filings claim. The lawyers for Piccolo have fired back, insisting that August 2 motion that Disney's argument is fatally flawed. The motion that terms agreements to buy a customer when creating a Disney Plus free trial account would forever bar that customer's right to a jury trial in any dispute with Disney affiliate or subsidiaries. So it's outrageously unreasonable and unfair to shock the judicial conscience. Basically, I saw a Twitter thing, and I should have saved it, but I probably didn't. But it was a clip of an old South Park episode where the people had signed up to an agreement, and in the small writings of the small print of the agreement, it allowed, I think it was iTunes in this situation, it allowed them to force their subscribers to iTunes. They could force them into becoming basically a human centipede, right? And that's essentially what Disney's claiming here, right? If you sign up, if you use our services, right, no matter what we do to you, you can't sue us. You have to sit down and go to arbitration, which limits basically the amount of monies that you potentially could be awarded, because juries historically would award a significant more amount of money versus, say, arbitration which would involve like a somebody in the legal profession, a judge, or usually a judge or something like that is assigned to deal with arbitrations, and they wouldn't get like some major settlement, like for the pain and suffering part of the mental anguish and things like that when it comes to the punitive part of the settlement. I found that story. I was like, wow. Everybody, a lot of people these days really have a bad, they just don't like Disney, right? Maybe it's because you're a Star Wars fan and you feel like they really just screwed over the entire Disney or Star Wars franchise. Guilty. Or maybe you are a MCU fan and you really don't like where they're taking the direction of the MCU universe. Kind of guilty on that. Or maybe whatever reason, you just think they're an evil corporation. And then something like this comes out, and it's like, yeah, it 100% confirms that, they're evil. They're an evil corporation. And, they don't think they're guilty of doing anything. So in the poll back on the question of should breakdancing be a sport, 87% of you said nope. 12% said yes. Okay, so there's a small percentage of you that think that breakdancing should be allowed in the Olympics, and I think that's okay. I don't know so much if it's for me, but anyway, okay. So enough of the, I guess, whatever. Let's get into some silly stuff here. Let's do a little silly stuff. We've had enough heavy stuff. So evidently, yesterday there was a minor change on Dr. Disrespect's Twitter page. He deleted his tweet that he put out about his Twitch ban, and some are speculating that this is leading up to his return to the to streaming and putting forth. Look, I don't know why I would delete that tweet. Millions of people saw it. I'm sure several hundreds, if not thousands of people screen capped it. It's never going to ever go away. Deleting it, I don't know if he's just trying to rage bait people. He probably is a little bit. He's trying to troll a little bit. He's trying to do whatever. If the man comes back and starts streaming or whatever, he's going to have people watching him. Is he going to have less people than he did before? Possibly. Has he lost brand deals? Yes. Will he get brand deals in the future? More than likely. He's, what is it, Tommy? He's just another YouTuber, right? Plain and simple. He's just another YouTuber. Anyway, what is this here? This is something Purple sent me. I'm not for sure what this is. It says full English breakfast. So let's take a look. That's blood sausage. I know what that is. And that's bangers. Yeah. Blood sausage, cooking it. Yeah. There's your bacon. Yep. All right, there's your English bacon. Mushrooms, tomatoes, yep. And you gotta have the beans. Yeah, little salt and pepper. Yeah. All right, you gotta have your potatoes. Hash browns. Yep. Of course, ribs. Yep. All the good stuff off of that. Got it. Drain all the water off. Butter? Oh, okay. But, you're gonna make them into patties. All right. Fair enough. Looks good. One of the things I've never I don't know how they do this. Where do they get these eggs where the darn yolks are so orange and yellow? I would like to find where they get those, because I know that I can remember as a kid. Honestly, truly, I can remember as a kid when we would have we had chickens. We had our own chickens. We eggs, and then of course we would hatch off some and kill them and pluck them and what have you, and put them in the freezer for chickens, for like chicken and dumplings or fried chicken or roasted chicken, things like that. We used to do that as a kid. That just was part of what we did. We had chickens, and we did our own. We butchered our own hogs. We would raise beef, but we wouldn't butcher. We wouldn't butcher the beef. We would take it to the slaughterhouse and let them do it and process it. But all this, I really one of these days I want to go to England. That is one of my dreams. Is I want to go to England, and I want to have a proper English breakfast. Now I know I have fans, people that watch from the UK. I would 100% try everything on this plate except for tomatoes. I know, a southern boy growing up on a farm, I don't like tomatoes. I can tolerate like when you make a chili, and you have the stewed tomatoes or whatever, that I can stand. I can even stand like when you're making rotel, cheese dip or whatever, and you have the chopped up tomatoes, like in the rotel itself, right? I can handle that. I can even tolerate having, like every once in a while, a tomato on a hamburger, right? A thinly sliced tomato on a hamburger. Every once in a great while. I don't even like ketchup on like French fries, right? I just eat my French fries plain. But I don't even like fried green tomatoes. When I was a kid growing up, my mom would dice up a green tomato and put it in with the okra when she was, frying up the okra. We'd have fried okra. I would tolerate it. I would eat it because you couldn't really pick it out. But I just don't like tomatoes. I just don't like them as a they're a fruit, actually, not a vegetable. But I just don't. But I would, everything else, the mushrooms I would eat. The bacon needs to be fried a little bit crisper. I like mine a little bit crispier. But everything else, 100% would eat on this, no problems. 1,000% would eat that, no problems. And I would, but yeah, that egg, man, that egg looks so freaking good. It really, really did. So I came across this. I'd seen a person actually do a short on this. It's a 1 minute little video. But I want to kind of do this as like a contrast, a compare and contrast, right? So this is a video of a 16-year-old young man. He was 16 at the time of this. Okay. He enrolled, he enlisted in the military when he was 14 years old. He lied and told the recruiter he was 18 years old. And he went to war during World War II. At 14, he went to enlisted and went to war. And this is an interview with him when he was 16 years old. He had been fighting for 2 years in World War II at this point, and he had flown over 22 air battles. And listen to this at this point, this 16-year-old man. Okay, most time when we talk about a 16-year-old, they're a boy or they're a child, they're young. Think about it. How many times have we seen stories in the last, I'm gonna say, 2 years, 3 years in this part of the internet? How many times have we seen this 16-year-old boy and this, that, whatever else, right? This is a 16-year-old man. This young man is more of a man than I will ever be. I'll just say it, right? Listen to this story. What the? No. Look at him. He's handsome. Look at all those. He's like a sergeant.
Sergeant Worley, how old were you when you enlisted in the Army?
I was 14, sir.
14. How did you get in when you were 14?
Well, I went to Peoria, sir, and told the recruiting officer there that I was 18, so he let me in.
How many combat missions were you on in over enemy territory?
22, sir.
22. Where were they mostly?
Mostly they were in Africa, sir.
Sicily?
Sicily, Pantelleria, and Sardinia.
22 air missions, mainly on the African campaigns. But he's like, it has some, some over Italy and stuff as well. 22 air missions, and he was 16. He enlisted. I want you, a 14-year-old child enlisted in the military, lied about his age, which was a common practice back then, because they wanted to go and fight for their country during World War II. These young boys wanted to go and fight. He was 14, enlisted, went and fought, and was able to stay in for 2 years and flew 22 missions.
Have you got a girl back home?
No, sir. Girls don't bother me much.
What did you miss mostly while you were away?
Oh, ice cream sodas was the most, I guess.
Ice cream sodas. It's what this young man... Man, this is just, talk about a time capsule.
Were you scared at all when you were over enemy territory on these missions?
No, sir, not while I was over enemy territory, but when we come back to the field, you get out of the plane, you're shaking like a leaf on a tree.
What decoration back home are you going to worry about being drafted?
No, sir, I'll come back in as soon as I can.
Come back in as soon as he can. I don't know. Like I said, I came across that and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. That just blew me away. It really just blew me away. But anyway. I don't. What do you guys think? I mean, is that not like such a contrast to what we see today? Was it just me, or is that just not such a? I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting here. I don't know. This criminal was caught red-handed, and I want him in jail by 6 p.m. today. This is coming from a Twitter account, The Instigator. Let's see what we got here. Let's blow this up a little bit here.
Man, this man that hungry. Bruh. Really? Really? Get out my oven.
He's just hungry. Come on, Dad. Look, that does look good. Got some. Looks like got some smoked grilled chicken there and ribs. Is that like a steak or something? The boy just hungry. Feed that baby. Feed that baby. He hungry.
Give me my stuff. What's wrong with you?
He's hungry, Daddy. That's what's wrong with him. Look
Go to
at
your
that
room.
little sad face. Look at that sad face. He just hungry, Daddy. Come on. Come on. What is this here? This has been a sport since 1999. Oh Lord, is this going to be another one of these things that are going to be Olympic? An insane roof ball championship game. What is roof ball? What? Okay, so they throw a football on top of and they catch it.
Yeah, Rob says. All right. A 65, the trophy round. A little short, he's got 49. He gets a point in, hold on, that was the last.
So they're doing this in the rain.
The championship throw right there, guys. Rob is going to make the catch, and it is over. The 2024 Roof Ball World Championship goes to Nate Warner. His first major championship in roof ball history. First of many, I think.
What?
So too. That guy's got a championship.
What even is this?
Here with us. Congratulations to the World Championship. First of all, how are you feeling? Are you cold? You're the only one wearing shorts and a t-shirt. You're muddy. This is a little colder than you're used to. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome, man. I came up here hoping to bring the win back to
What? Purple, what have you sent me? I've never seen. We used to play a game when I was a kid called Annie Over, right? Where you'd have two teams on either side of a house, and you would throw a ball over, right? And the other team would get the ball, and then you had to watch each end, just kind of figure out which one was coming. And they would throw the ball at you and hit you, and if you got hit and didn't catch it, right, then you had to become a part of their team. And the whole thing was, you back and forth, whatever, until one team was eliminated that in this way. We just called Annie Over. And you'd, one side of the person the team that had to say Annie, and the other team say over, and then they throw the ball over, and then you'd catch it and take off, and you'd try to hide the ball until you come around and then you try to figure out who had the ball. Now, we played that as a kid, but I never heard of this roof ball championship. What goes on here? I don't.
my kids, Jones, Scarlett, and
is this sponsored? Do they have like sponsorships? Is like brands behind this? Like, is Converse or Nike or?
It's hard to leave 3 kids and a wife who just had a baby, and I think this is the only way you can come back as a winner, and it feels really good. It's a bad day to be a roof vent.
This was on ESPN. Back at it. ESPN, was it 8 or something? This was actually covered by ESPN. Oh my garden seed.
So a great day of roof ball and victory for
They have teams and sponsorships and everything. Oh my Lord. And they got roof judges and
Thanks for watching the 2020
trophies and the whole thing. Oh my gosh.
next time.
It just goes to show you. It just really does. Make a competition out of everything. good for them, I guess. I don't know. So if you guys ever, yeah, it's wild, Purple. I never even heard of anything like that before. So have you guys in your like communities or whatever, you ever see where they have these painting things, right? Where you like you pay money and you go and there's like people sitting around and you like have a glass of wine and you paint, and a lot of times they'll have like an outline already on the canvas for you because you're not really artist, such as myself. I did this one time with my wife. We did it as like an anniversary thing. And anyway, you paint your scene or whatever, right? And but anyway, so I guess this is like these friends, they went to one of these type of things here, and they did a painting. And I guess they're supposed to like paint. You're looking at the person across the table from you. And these two are friends, of course, and they are painting. So.
Okay, guys, so me
Yeah,
and
sip and paint, yeah.
each other.
Something like that, yeah.
Here's what I painted. Here.
Yo.
Hold it.
I'm not gonna crap. Look, I'm not gonna because I'm not an artist. I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler, right? But it is a little messed up. A little bit, but she ain't wrong either, But
okay, now look at it.
let's see how the friend reacts to this.
Oh, this is cute though.
It's not bad.
It's really not.
You know?
See, she's taking.
I'm bald headed right here. That's crazy.
Yeah, you got a little gap there, yeah, girl.
I look like the witch off the Wizard of Oz.
It's not too bad. I couldn't get the texture of the hair right, but I tried. Get into the details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the curls, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my best friend.
Okay.
And here's the picture of his.
Oh my God.
Let me see, bitch.
It looks like a dude. Oh Lord, no! It looks like a dude, y'all.
Let me see. Let me hold
I wonder if they were drinking. They had a little wine or something. Let's see if she. Well, they're taking it good sport. They're taking it good sport. That's all that matters, right? That's they're having fun with it, and that's what you gotta do, right? You gotta have something like this. You gotta just. You gotta be just cool with this stuff, you can't. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one, Purple. That was and they were good sports about it. They didn't take offense by it or nothing like this. I think that's really good. And this one here, I think you guys are going to appreciate, right? I think you guys will really appreciate this one. This one here, I'm not even going to set this one up. You can see that God will always be good. Here we go.
No one in the world has the power that I have. No one in the world, nowhere in the world, not even in America, have the power that I have. And if you don't think I have that power, in Jesus' name, God strike me. Hallelujah. No one in the world.
I don't know. I think this may be a voiceover. I think this is all coming, but it's just funny. I don't care. It's funny. And if we can't laugh, then why are we doing this? We can't laugh. Why are we even doing this, right? So this last one here, I'm just gonna play the video. I'm just gonna play this video, and then I'm gonna just let you guys have your own thoughts on this one. This one's wild.
All right, TikTok, tell me if I'm tripping or not. So me and my fiance, we are getting married, right? And to be a part of our wedding, you have to pay $450 for a ticket, and that's for each guest. So we invited friends and family to our wedding. Tell me why everybody that we invited has declined the invitation.
Well, because you charging them $450,000. No, you're wanting your family and your guests to pay for your wedding. Bro, that's not how this works. It's your wedding. It is your wedding. It is not their wedding. They're coming to support you and to celebrate you and your partner. It's not about, and you're going to sit there and hit them with $450 to attend a wedding.
We already have spent 100, maybe almost close to $200,000 on the wedding. We have already pre-ordered the cake. We already put down a deposit for the venue. We've already got the wedding dress, everything. We pay for everything for the wedding, DJ, photographer, everything for the wedding. And what I don't understand is that y'all spend 400 more money on stupid stuff, but you can't come out to support.
But that's stupid stuff that they want to spend it on, guy. Here's the thing. If you can't, real talk for a minute, I think this guy I think this may be one of these rage bait troll type videos. I don't think it's really necessarily a deal where it's I don't think he's really being honest is what I'm saying here. Right. But real talk for a second here. If you're wanting to get married, right? If you're wanting to get married, then you need to be able to afford the wedding, right? The event itself, the wedding event itself is not really, how do I put this? It's not how flamboyant it is. It's not how much of a event that it is. The wedding is supposed to be about the two people getting married, standing before family, friends, and the good Lord, and swearing an oath to each other to love and take care of each other from that day until the day that, you leave this earth. That's what it's supposed to be about, It's not supposed to be about having, this big, massive, expensive meal. It's not supposed to be having this big, massive bar that your family and friends can get, snookered at. It's not supposed to be having this big, massive dance floor with a big, expensive DJ. It's nothing. Now, if you could afford that and that's within your budget, then you know what? Do it, right? It's like I've had family, or not family, I've had friends that I've known that's had these, quote, destination weddings where they go to Cancun to get married, and they invite, people. I ain't flying to Cancun to get, no. I don't even want to go to Cancun on a vacation. Right? And honestly, if I'm just being real here, right? After I quit DJing and doing the weddings and things like that, I just don't go to weddings. I went to a wedding, I guess it's been over about a year ago or so. My nephew got married, right? And I felt like, okay, I got to go to the wedding, right? It's your nephew. It was my oldest nephew. I was like, all right, you got to go, right? Family obligations and all that. So I went to the wedding, and it was fine. It wasn't a big, it was, what they wanted, and it was nice and what have you, right? And then as soon as the wedding was over with, went home. Didn't do the reception. I didn't care anything about that. And, the wife and I just went home. And I'm sure one of these days, eventually, hopefully, my boys will get married, and I'll go do that. I'll do that wedding. But look, weddings. I think way too much. I think what people sometimes put way too much emphasis on it being like this event, and it shouldn't be an event, right? It should just be about the couple getting married and about them. And I think it should be like intimate. I don't think it should be like this big star-studded event. But that's my thoughts. And like I said, I don't know if this guy's trolling or not, but fella, if you're asking your friends and family to cough up $450, plus I'm sure some of them would have to travel, which means then they're going to have lodging expenses and food expenses, things like that. On top of that, no wonder they're telling you no. No longer, you would be better off, honestly, to just have a small wedding, a small reception that is within your budget, right? That is not going to bankrupt you and your fiance, or if you're doing it traditionally, your fiance's, family pay for the wedding type thing. Just that's crazy. That's ludicrous. That you've spent $200,000 on a stinking wedding, and then you want your friends and family to be like it's like we're having the Disneyland of weddings and it's gonna cost you $450 for a ticket. So that's just insane. It's just insane. But anyway. Well, guys, that's it. Thank you for hanging in here with me till the end of the show. Kind of a little bit of a recap. I agree with you guys. I don't think that that Raygun is getting bullied so much. I just think that people are taking exception to what she presented at the Olympics as far as her breakdancing routine. And when you put yourself out there publicly, you're going to be critiqued. You're going to be criticized. You're going to be memed. You're going to be laughed at. That's just the way it is. Even people who are exceptional, right, at their abilities and stuff, they still get memed. They still get laughed at. Because, nobody's going to have 100% support ever. That's just not a thing that occurs. Disney, you're insane, dude. The corporation, you're just insane. To think because a person signed up to Disney Plus that excludes you from being liable because a wait staff in one of your restaurants was not adhering to allergies that the patrons made them aware of, and so they lost. Unfortunately, they lost their life, and so you're sitting there saying because 4 years ago they signed up for Disney Plus, they forfeit any and all rights to sue. They have to go through arbitration. That's insane. That's insane. You're just, it's stories like that make people hate you more. And if they didn't hate you before, they're going to hate you now for certain. Anyway, but I hope you enjoyed the day. We got one more day left in this week. So we got, but anyway, thank you for hanging out with me on this Thursday. And I don't know where my favorite was this morning. She was supposed to have been joining me, but she didn't. She abandoned me, and now I'm going to have abandonment issues all day. And I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be a sad person. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a great day. Remember, guys, keep your powder dry. And I'll see you in the funny papers.